You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway. There are three, three, three types of buyer concessions or seller concessions that buyers ask sellers for when they're putting in an offer. And I was reading some market statistics, and I want to say it was pretty high. It was something close to like 67, 70% of offers and accepted offers are now including seller concessions to buyers. And what seller concessions are is money that the seller gives back to the buyer to help with things like covering the buyer's closing costs. Closing costs to purchase a home are usually anywhere from like 1 to 3% of the purchase price. They're also asking for seller concessions to help for buy downs, interest rate buy downs. So we know that the interest rates keep on fluctuating. They're kind of around the 7%. Sometimes they'll drop under, sometimes they'll go a little bit higher. And then of course, depending on your credit score and your debt to income ratio and all the things, that depends on what you qualify for. But there are options with most lenders where you can buy down that interest rate to get a lower interest rate. And so buyers, I've seen a lot more of this where buyers are asking sellers for some concessions to buy down that interest rate for them. The third seller concessions that I've seen are by way of usually some home improvements or repairs that will take place after the fact. So maybe, the buyers know that XYZ needs to be updated or replaced or repaired. And instead of having the seller do that and negotiate it, they're just saying, hey, give us the money and we'll take care of it after. And then I guess there's a fourth one that is less commonly asked for, but is also sometimes put in there as a seller concession, is asking the seller's help to pay with debt payoff. So maybe in order for the buyers to qualify for this property, they have to pay off this credit card or, pay off this car payment that, maybe has a year left of, payments left on it, something like that, so that they can afford the payment. And so they will ask for seller concessions for that. And so there are lots of opportunities for buyers today to negotiate seller concessions with their offer. And it really just depends on the particular property that you're looking at, really where in the price range it is located. Like if it is, listed at top of the market, if it's under the market, if it's, right at, what it should be, whether it's been sitting on the market forever or if it was just listed. Again, there's a lot of factors that will determine whether seller concessions will even be entertained and considered, or whether they will be absolutely declined. But if that is something that is stopping you from purchasing, I think it's definitely worth a conversation because, as I said, seller concessions in today's market are becoming a lot more common for buyers to be asking of them and for sellers to be giving them. So just a quick tidbit on purchasing a property. And if you have any questions, let me know.